All right, welcome everybody to the JV Effect. This is Johnny. I'm broadcasting live for Quinnipiac University. I want to thank David DeRoche for producing our show and Eric Cossins.
Today we'll be talking about accessibility, and after that, Johnny and I will be talking sports, and since it's the NFL playoffs and the college football playoffs, it'll be a lot of football today. And plenty of other sports. We'll be talking about that and more, but please tell us your thoughts about accessibility on our Instagram at jveffect.podcast.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to our first episode of JV Effect, and Happy New Year to everyone. So, I want to welcome our newest guest, Alex Bode, to the mic.
Thank you very much for having me here today. I'm here with my mother.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And my PA.
Hello.
So, let's get into this conversation. So, what do you guys think about handicap parking?
I think it's a problem.
So, Johnny, a few years ago, we started noticing that the parking placard program in Connecticut was being ignored by a lot of people, and there was a lot of abuse going on. So we thought, why not do something to try to make it a little bit better for those people that really need accessible parking?
To our audience, we're talking about handicap parking with people with disabilities. So, how did you guys find out there wasn't any more handicap parking in Connecticut?
It just became very difficult to find spots any longer. So Al uses a ramp van.
Yes.
And so there's fewer spots for ramp vans than for other accessible parking. So it just became more and more difficult to find a spot when you were out in the public, out in the community.
Al, you have a kind of saying that you always tell people about why you started Peace Love Accessibility.
Because I just got very tired of not being alone.
Yeah, you got really tired of not being able to go anywhere, not being able to access places, having difficulty finding parking, that it made it harder to go out in the community.
That makes sense. Also, what do you choose to do to make Connecticut better for people like us for disabilities?
Trying to get politicians to for
So we first started with doctors because, as you know, those are the people that hand out the prescription to get the placard.
Of course.
So we reached out to about 150 doctors to see if we could begin coming in and talking to them a little bit about lived experience and, why we feel it's becoming more difficult, but we didn't have any luck there.
Okay.
So we moved on to police departments to see if we could, maybe start there.
Okay.
We had a little better luck, and we had a couple of departments agree to sit down with us. And what we basically do is go in there and talk about difficulties and the need, especially for people with ramp vans, and some of the experiences.
Right.
And that actually caught on. And by starting to visit the police departments, we we're able to visit more police departments. And
How many people have you guys talked to about this? Have
Al,
you talked to the have you talked to any of city clerk in Milford? Have you guys talked about anything like that?
we did go talk to the Milford Police Department, and they were wonderful.
All right.
And we actually went to the police department with the Milford Chamber of Commerce and their like business district organization.
Okay.
Because there's actually a lot of parking lots in Milford that aren't up to compliance with the parking spaces.
Yep.
And I think it was very well received, right, Alex? Yeah. And then we were actually invited to the Chiefs of Police Expo, where chiefs of police all over the Connecticut came, and we had a booth. It was very loud in there. But we did have, a lot of departments come up and ask us questions, and from there we did some more police visits. So we did the expo, and we've probably visited about, I'd say, 20 police departments.
Right. 20 to police departments. Do you guys have any opportunities coming up that because this podcast will get the word out, so do you guys have any upcoming events or anything like that you would like to share?
Or not.
Because I'm on your Facebook, so I see it.
So we are going to do an event again,
Okay.
like last year's. We did a Community Access Awareness Day, where we invited
Okay, perfect.
different organizations to come in
Okay.
and talk to the public. We had OT students from Quinnipiac. So we had OTs talking about different adaptive equipment that helps. So we had some nice tables for people to talk about it. We had a mindfulness tent
Right.
where people could go in and relax, and it was just fun. We had
Right.
music, we had hand trikes that people could try, and it'll be in June or July again this year. We're just waiting on a date.
Okay. So no date on that yet?
Soon.
Do you guys have anything that you would like to add for do you guys have like any questions for me that you guys would like to cover, or for example, I'm graduating next year, so I'm hoping that I can help you guys
That would be great.
with the mission here.
That'd be great. I think going forward with an awareness and education piece is really what we're trying to accomplish. We're not trying to get anybody in trouble or point any fingers.
That makes sense.
We did visit the Lieutenant Governor last month and spoke to her about a statewide Access Awareness Day to bring more attention to the need of accessible parking. And she was pretty on board. She was going to take it to the governor. So that's really exciting to be able to spread the word throughout the state.
So do you guys have like special placards, or like, can you explain a little bit about that? Because I know you gave me a couple of them, but can you explain to our audience a little bit about the placards, if you may?
You mean our cards?
Yes, the cards.
Our friendly cards?
Yes.
Al?
We make cards.
To be friendly and informative.
All right, that makes a lot of sense.
So if you're someone that thinks it's okay to park in an accessible spot,
Can I tell you my story?
sure.
So we went me and my mom went to a place in Milford. One of the restaurants were not ADA accessible. They had a garbage can in front of them, so I couldn't get in to that venue. So we actually gave one of your mission people a card, and hopefully, now I haven't been there to check, but I'm hoping that maybe I get there in a couple of weeks so I can check and let you guys know if they moved the garbage can.
That would be great.
Garbage
And
can.
as a matter of fact, when we last met you, we only had cards for people that were parking incorrectly in spots, but we did recently do a card for businesses. So we can get you some of those. And
Okay,
again,
perfect.
it's friendly, it's informative, and it
Mhm.
just talks about the importance of being able to get
Because
in.
also I think that this is a great opportunity for us to really help and get to know people, and I think that would be perfect if you guys wouldn't mind me helping out.
No, not at all.
So I think
You know what they say,
That
it
might be
takes a
good.
village to make change.
also, do you guys have any events coming up like in this month?
We do have the fundraiser in the summer.
Right. We're presently working with the police department in Clinton who really embraced Al's program, and
Okay,
they've
perfect.
actually developed a card that's a warning
Oh,
notice.
Okay.
So we've been communicating a lot with them and working with them, and they've agreed to let us bring their program forward. So what happens is every police department in Clinton has cards that have a little friendly warning, and the officer will check off a box, and it asks the person who has the placard to either get a new one or not park in the spot. And then on the flip side is information on peace, love, accessibility.
Right.
We're also developing our website.
Ooh, do you have a link for it yet?
We haven't until now. But with working with the Clinton Police Department, we realized that
Perfect.
the QR code to Al's information goes to our Facebook. And not everyone has Facebook.
That's true. Not everybody has Facebook, so I'm glad you guys are realizing that information.
Yeah.
Because I have Facebook, but not everybody does. So I'm glad that.
Yeah, we learned that the hard way. But so, it'll just increase the exposure
Right.
and
then you guys can put up your events, and then we can just put up pictures, so we can do a lot with that.
right. And Al is very active on that Facebook. So,
She is.
we do try to use that platform to spread more awareness.
Yep.
And how many followers do you have now on Facebook? It's grown.
Over 1,000.
Yeah, so there's now over
Wow,
1,000, which
over
I think is
1,000.
great.
Okay.
We're always looking to
Right.
expand that.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you like to explain a little bit about your Facebook?
So, if you want to, that link.
Yeah, you can post the link.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it.
So
but-
I think the nice thing, Al, about the Facebook is you do always use it in a positive way. And, when we started...
do you guys write for her, or did she write on
We
it?
all, there's like 4 of us that contribute to
Okay.
it. But in the beginning, it was just Al finding photographs that we could post to use
Yeah.
as positive examples. And now every day somebody sends Alex
Right.
some photo out there somewhere.
So when you guys go on vacation, how does that work? Because, as you know, airplanes are not to get off topic here, but this is kind of off.
Yeah,
Kinda-
it's on topic, I
Kind of
think.
on topic. So, how do you guys? Can you explain how you travel, and maybe we can work on this a little bit so that more planes are ADA accessible.
Yeah, it's a process. It's a
Yeah,
process.
I know.
Um,
It's a process. So
it definitely takes a lot of time.
Yep. You have to be patient. We only take we only take one airline because we've found over the years that how the airline treats you and
yeah, I know.
is really important.
I know all about that because I haven't traveled a couple years ago, and we went down to Florida, and Southwest is very accommodating.
Very good.
So if you guys want to do that, Southwest is very accommodating with special needs chairs. The only thing that they don't like, and I don't know if you guys experience this, but with power chairs, they don't allow power chairs on that, so you would need a push chair.
Yeah, no one allows power chairs. So, what
Yeah.
we do is you bring your chair up to the jetway, up to the door of the
Yeah.
plane, and you transfer onto an aisle chair, and then they transfer
Yeah,
you from the aisle chair.
That whole thing is...
Yeah, and then you get in your seat, and
Um,
then they take your chair and they put it under the plane, and you
Yeah, that whole thing
pray
is
that
so...
it comes back in
that-
one piece.
That whole thing is really... well, it's not really annoying, but I'm hoping with this episode we can push more forwardly with this. I'm hoping that we can talk to the airlines, and hopefully they can get this figured out.
Yeah,
for us.
we took part in as you know, the Department of Transportation
Yes.
has a lot to do with it.
Right.
And they had a huge all-day meeting online last
Okay.
year, and we took part in that, and they're really making strides to have airplanes
because
designed.
they are, even though airlines are nice, they are really tight. Like the plane seats are tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, you guys have had some really bad experiences traveling.
Yeah.
That you've had to make a lot of choices,
I know.
like not traveling to New York and traveling out of
Right.
JFK, but traveling out of Bradley in
Right.
Connecticut.
My sister is in Nashville, so she is for that with college. And I would like an easy way to get there, but with driving, it's kind of difficult because it's a 14-hour drive.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately,
So
you
I
guys
don't-
are very,
I don't go out there that often, but
that when Mary and Alex started Peace Love Accessibility,
Yeah.
I think your mission was not just handicap parking, but to improve access,
Mm-hmm.
universal access for everything, whether it's travel, parking, life.
right.
And I think your biggest mission has been parking, but you've had people reach out to you when you've shared some of your travel stories. And unfortunately, a lot of people out in the
Yeah.
community stay home and
Right.
don't go out because they run into so many issues. So
Right.
you're trying one problem at a time.
I know, and I'm trying to figure out a way that we could figure that out.
So I have a question for you.
Right.
When you fly, have you ever heard of a CRO?
Sierra, what's that?
So a CRO is a complaint resolution officer that
Okay.
anyone that has a disability-related problem can request that CRO to speak to them about their problem. And nothing can happen until that person either calls
Whoa.
or comes to speak to you. So it's simple things like that that I feel a lot of people are not even aware of. And the
CRO.
CROs are very knowledgeable about the ADA laws
Right.
and the Air Carriers Act and can help you with any problem. So for me, that's the best advice I could give anyone
Right.
with a
Okay.
disability that travels by air.
That
is-
makes sense. Do you guys use public transportation? Because I know that's the number one accessibility use.
We don't. Al and Al's brother Sam both have their own accessible vehicles.
Okay.
So we're very lucky. We do use the train because we go to the hospital in Philadelphia a lot.
Oh.
And
Philadelphia,
unfortunately, there have
that's
been
far away.
problems. It's only a 3.5-hour train ride,
Okay.
and it's better than driving. So we've had a lot of experience on Amtrak,
The Amtrak.
the Amtrak.
Whoa, they use Amtrak. So when you're using Amtrak,
Mhm.
give me some background on how you guys go about that. if you
Sure.
may.
Al, do you want to take that one? Again, it's a lot of hoping for the best, right?
Yeah. I'm sure.
So you can only get into the accessible seats on the train.
Yeah.
So they put down a platform for you, and you drive your chair over the platform to get on the train.
Yep.
And then the cars that have the accessible spots, if you're staying in your chair, are right there.
But, so, one more thing, and then I will let you guys go. How many Amtraks do you see anyone with special needs on those trains? Because I am gonna maybe in the future I'm gonna take a ride and see what it's like, and I want to get your opinion if I should do that or not.
What do you think, Al? I say go for it. Taking the train is a lot of fun.
Okay.
You just have to make sure
Yeah, do it.
do it. You have to make sure you make your reservation correctly. And one of our biggest complaints on the train, as I said, what certain cars have the space, people stick their luggage in it.
Oh, that's not good. That is not.
But definitely go for it because it's a great way to travel.
Okay.
Yeah, do it.
Then I am gonna go for it. Thank you for taking the time to let me have a few minutes on this show.
Thank you very much for having us.
No problem.
Thank you.
No problem. And I will definitely talk to you guys soon, and we'll figure out what we can do moving forward.
Perfect.
Thank you.
That concludes this interview. And now we'll go to Miles Chester with some sports updates. Miles and Johnny coming up next. Alright, so welcome back to the show, everybody. We just had a wonderful interview with Alex, and now I'm joined by my co-host for sports, Miles Chester. So Miles, thank you for waiting. How's it going?
It's going great. It's great to be back. It's only my second time on this pod, but I'm excited.
Yes, your second time. So, Miles, what do you think about sports so far?
Well, right now my focus is on college football, but
Okay.
just because it's the very end. But
Right.
I know that the NFL playoffs are kind of like they're in it. The first round's over. What do you think about the first round of the playoffs?
I think the first round was a little bit difficult because number one, we'll find out who's gonna be in the playoffs. Now we know who's gonna be in the playoffs. So now here comes the question for you: who do you think is gonna be in the Super Bowl? Any ideas?
I think the Lions are going to be in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I can be very confident when I say that.
Right.
I don't think the Chiefs. I definitely think the Lions are going to be in the Super Bowl. And then in terms of the AFC, I can't say.
Oh wow, you can't say.
I can't say because
Now, let me ask you a question. Who do you want in the Super Bowl? Give our audience who you want in there.
Well, given that the Patriots didn't make the playoffs this year, I guess I would like the Lions to be in the Super Bowl. They're my favorite NFC team.
Okay.
And as long as the Eagles and the Chiefs aren't in the Super Bowl, I'm happy. I don't like the Bills a lot because they're in the same division as the Pats, and they beat us all the time.
Right.
Well, they didn't used to, but now they do. So any I don't, you know what I mean? As long as the Lions
it kind
are
of
in it.
varies. Do you have anything that you want to share regarding hockey?
Well, hockey, you asked me about the Rangers. The Rangers are hot right now. They look really good. They just beat the Stanley Cup champions, the Panthers, in overtime.
Right.
And I'm an Islanders fan.
Mm.
Every single year we're like the Browns of hockey. We're just okay. Never
Okay.
good enough to be great.
Yeah, never good enough to be okay, though.
Right.
Right.
Just below average. But the Rangers look good. They always look good.
So tell the audience what you think of the Knicks and what you think of our new Knicks, and also what do you think of the new baseball players for the Yankees?
I love my Knicks. Can't love anything more than I love the Knicks. I was just actually at a Knicks game. I went to the Knicks Raptors game at the Garden like 3 nights ago. What do you think about that?
3 nights ago, before we take up this show. So give us a little of your Knick in the
some info.
building.
I'll give you some info.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about the Knicks is the trade, the Karl Anthony Towns trade. I mean, it was time for Julius Randle to go. It was time for R.J. Barrett.
Yeah, it was time for them.
They weren't, they were being all-stars, but they weren't being the missing pieces that we needed. And Karl Anthony Towns has been the missing piece that we need. We've
Right.
lacked a great big man since Patrick Ewing, and I think we got our second great big man of our franchise.
Correct.
And as long as all of our players like Anunoby, Brunson, Hart, McBride, as long as everybody stays healthy, unlike they did last year, that's the reason why we lost. But as long as everybody stays healthy and they keep playing the way they can play, then we'll be fine, and we should keep that 3 seed, and not a lot of teams in the East scare me.
So you think the 3 seed is what it's gonna look like for what it's gonna look like?
I don't think the Magic are gonna pass us. The Magic are right behind us, and we're right behind the Celtics. We're not passing the Celtics, and the Magic aren't passing us. I think the East is going to look the same throughout the whole year. The West, however, that can change a lot. You have OKC, Dallas, Dallas and Phoenix. Dallas and Phoenix, I think, can get really hot.
Do you think the Brooklyn Nets are a good team? Because I know that I don't watch the Brooklyn Nets that often, but do you think they're a good team?
Well, speaking of the Brooklyn Nets, I was just going to talk about Mikal Bridges, who we just got from the Brooklyn Nets, who's a Knick now. The Nets are not good, and the Nets have never been good.
Yeah, they have never been good.
No, the Nets are they're a bummy franchise.
So, give me your Mikal Bridges take.
I don't know. That one's tough because I watch almost every Knick game, and almost every Knick game he doesn't cut to the basket a whole lot. I'm fine with him staying outside, but he needs to make those threes. He can't miss wide open shots.
Right, he can't miss wide open shots.
But if he's gonna score 40 points against the Nets like he did a few weeks ago, that's more than a role player. He's an all-star.
Right.
No role players are scoring 40 points, but I think he needs to figure out what his job in New York is, and I think that's to just be a sniper, just make the threes.
What do you think that would be like for the Knicks? Do you think they could go very far? What do you think?
Yeah, like I said, not a lot of teams in the East scare me. The Celtics are the champions, so they're not going to win it again.
They're not going to win.
But the Cavs are scary. What do you think? What do you think about the Cavs? Tell me why they're so good.
I think the Cavs are okay. They're not my favorite But they're okay, so I think they're fine.
Why are they so good, though? They're so good. They're the
Because-
best team in the NBA. Is it Donovan,
Because
just Donovan Mitchell?
they have Donovan Mitchell.
There you go.
They have all the good players. And the Knicks are getting better, but they're not better all the way.
No,
So
you're right. You're
No.
right. We need to stay healthy.
we need to stay healthy.
It would be great. Do you remember? Are you a Knicks fan?
Yes, I'm a Knicks fan
Do you-
all the way.
Do you remember Mitchell Robinson? Big guy.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
He is
Good.
constantly injured. It's always some foot or ankle injury.
Oh, he's injured right now.
Yeah, he's been injured the last 3 years, and we could really, really use him.
Right, we
You
can really use him
Backup center.
backup center and all that. Right.
Yeah, because Towns gets tired. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
he does everything out there. He dribbles, he passes, he shoots, he dunks, but when we don't really have a backup center, we don't really
Right.
have it. We don't have anybody on our team that's over 7
Yeah.
feet, and in
Mhm.
this league, you need it.
And what do you think about the coaching staff for the Knicks? Do you think they're gonna be fine? What do you think?
Oh yeah, I think we found our guy, Tom Thibodeau, our head coach right now.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
Tibbs is great.
I think we found the guy.
We found him. He's great.
Also, what do you think about the new? What do you think about the Giants? Do you think they're gonna move? You think they're gonna move the coach?
Yeah, I think they're gonna fire Dable finally. Although,
Okay.
I mean, we did see the pretty much same Giants team without Malik
Yeah,
Neighbors.
without-
They beat the Vikings
Without Malik Neighbors, they beat the Vikings
in the
so
playoffs.
in the-
Just what was it? 1 year ago or 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, you're probably right. But Brian Dable, I mean, I'm not gonna say he can't win playoff games, and I will say that he doesn't have a lot of talent on that Giants team. But
Right.
what he's done with that Giants team is, I wouldn't go as far to say he deserves to be fired, but I think he will be fired.
Right. I don't think he would be fired, but I really don't think so.
You don't think they're gonna fire him this offseason?
I mean, they might. I think they might. I'm not sure.
You might be right. They might not. I mean, why not have they done it already? You know what I mean?
Yep.
The Patriots already fired their coach, and they got Mike Vrabel.
The Patriots. What do you think about what they did with Mike Rabel, or what do you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
What do you think about him?
I don't think it was fair what happened to Gerard Mayo, our last coach, the coach that coached us this year. I mean,
Okay.
we only had 3 wins, but
Right.
I mean, who did he have? You know what I mean? No receivers, no O-linemen, basically no offense besides Drake May, who
Right.
had no weapons. And you fire him after 1 year. I get that we want to keep our franchise moving, but I mean, give him a chance,
Right,
you know?
give
Give
him
him
a-
some talent.
Give him a chance. I agree with you on that with the what do you think about baseball? You think the Yankees are going to be good this year?
Well, hopefully not. I don't know if you remember, but I'm a big Red Sox fan. I can talk about the Yankees all day, though. I mean, they weren't... nobody's going to spend as much money as Steve Cohen was for Juan Soto.
Right. Juan Soto is not going to be much money because Juan Soto he was the best player for the Yankees.
Easily the best hitter in the world. The best... The greatest... One of the greatest hitters of all time.
Right. So, go ahead.
As long as the Yankees keep their pitching okay and they don't lose a lot of guys, and Garrett Cole and Nestor and those other guys, and as long as they stay good, they
Right.
won't be bad. The Yankees aren't going to be great and have over 105 wins,
105
like
wins.
they did this year. You know what
Who,
I mean?
who do you think is going to be the MVP for 2025?
For baseball?
Yeah. Aaron Judge or Giancarlo Stanton? Who do you think?
I don't want to choose between those two guys.
Who's going to be the MVP for your Red Sox?
The MVP every year is Rafael Devers. He hits the most home runs.
That's what
he
I
gets
thought
the
you
most
would.
RBIs.
I thought you would say that.
But I mean, we have guys like Trevor Story who are just injured and waiting to play that are just getting older and older and older. He's
Right.
getting out of his prime.
Yeah.
Like, and we traded guys like JD Martinez and Xander Bogaerts. But
I know.
what did we
that's-
get? What did we get? Did we get draft picks? I mean, where are they now? I mean,
Right.
did we get players? Did they just flop?
Right.
It's confusing with the Red Sox because we
It's-
never dip our hand into the money jar
It's
like the
confusing.
Yankees do.
Our last thing I want to ask you. Do you think that the UConn will go to the championship? UConn football.
I don't think UConn football will ever make it to a national championship in history, unfortunately, because of all the great SEC schools.
Right.
However, they can definitely win their conference. I think they can definitely win the Big East next year. How about we make that a prediction? UConn wins
Yeah.
their conference next year.
All right.
Let's put some money on it too,
Me
John.
and Miles predict that UConn will
Let's do it.
win their championship next year in 2026.
All right, who's going to Vegas to put it in? You or me?
You probably.
All right.
All right, thank you, Miles.
Yeah.
That concludes the show for today. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Yep,
And thank you for Alex Bode and her organization.
that's right.
For the JV Effect, I'm Johnny V.
And I'm Miles Chester. We'd like to thank Quinnipiac University for hosting us at the podcast studio. Please feel free to visit us on our Instagram, jveffect.podcast, and leave us a comment about this episode on what you thought, and if you have any disagreements or agreements.
And if you have anything to add on to our next episode, thank you guys for listening. And thank you. You guys are a great audience. And thanks.